So guys, now that Core 2 is over, I think it is necessary to reflect on some of the most important moments of this core and try and analyze what they really mean for the entire Bleach story moving forward. With that said, I think we can start with some of the most defining moments of this core, and without a doubt, among these important highlights is the mind-blowing flashback anime exclusive scene of the meeting between Ichibei and Yhwach that we get in episode 24. Thanks to this brilliant scene, we get a deeper and exciting look into several very important aspects about the 1000-year war that were left out in the manga. In this exclusive scene, we not only get to see a younger version of Yhwach, but we also get to see the Lichtreich at its peak in all its glory 1000 years ago. Additionally, we also get to see the first regiment of the Schutzstaffel and get a short glimpse of the abilities of one of their members. Perhaps the most important bit of this flashback is Yhwach's use of the Almighty when he attacks Ichibei and the events that follow after this onslaught. In this video, I want to talk about a theory that I have read about in various Bleach forums on how the Soul King's left hand Pernida possibly achieved sentiency thanks to the events that take place during this important encounter between Ichibei and Yhwach. I'm going to start off with a brief summary of the events of the flashback and then share this specific theory about how Pernida becomes sentient towards the end of the video, so stay tuned until the last segment if you want to hear this interesting theory. The flashback starts out with Ichibei presenting Yhwach with a proposal to seize his ambitions of expanding the Empire of Light, and in return, Soul Society would let him reign in his empire as he pleases. However, Yhwach seems to see through Ichibei's proposal and calls it a deception. Now this to me seems like something Ichibei anticipated, and that deep down inside, Ichibei was just using the proposal as a ruse for a more intricate plan. In my opinion, Ichibei most likely initiated the meeting to lure Yhwach into using the power of the Almighty, after which he would get an opportunity to ultimately seal it and prevent him from being unstoppable if he chose to continue his plan of conquest. This is because Ichibei knew that approaching Yhwach and asking him to seize his conquest would definitely trigger him and force him to retaliate, and Ichibei expected that Yhwach would most likely retaliate using the Almighty. And this is exactly what ends up happening, as we see that after Yhwach gets triggered and calls out Ichibei's lies, he activates the Almighty ready to attack Ichibei. Ichibei then raises his hand in preparation to counter Yhwach, but before anything happens, the QUINCY girl of the Schutzstaffel jumps in to attack Ichibei, but he blocks her reishi shots and returns the fire. Afterward, an eyeball with two irises appears on the palm of Ichibei's raised hand, and we see the burst of spirit energy that it produces give Yhwach flashbacks of what happened to the Soul King. These memories further trigger Yhwach, and in addition to his Almighty, we see him activate his Blutvene and lunge in a flash and grab Ichibei's hand, seemingly trying to steal the Soul King's left arm, which has now materialized on Ichibei's hand. However, this turns out to be a trap, as we see Ichibei's hand morph into a giant palm and then wrap around Yhwach and afterward disappear. This is when Yhwach's Almighty is sealed, as we see the two irises in his eyes disappear, after which Ichibei tells Yhwach that his eyes shall remain closed until his death. Now, the theory on Pernida revolves around this last sequence of events. Actually, this theory has been suggested severally in various Bleach forums on Reddit, and specifically, I have heard Simo Urahara share the same hypothesis in one of his videos. Okay, so after we see the giant arm wrap around Yhwach, we get a clear assurance that Ichibei gives up the Soul King's left arm in order to seal the Almighty, and this is confirmed when he rhetorically asks Yhwach whether he thought he would get the Soul King's arm for free. This ultimately confirms that Ichibei sacrifices the Soul King's left arm and moves it into Yhwach in order to seal his power of the Almighty. Consequently, this leaves us to speculate as to how in the end the left arm leaves Yhwach's body and gets a mind of its own, as we get to see in the manga from chapter 635, where Pernida's identity is revealed. So, as I have mentioned before, my take is somewhat an assent to Simo Urahara's theory, which states that after Yhwach loses his Almighty, he perhaps in some mysterious way makes a pact with the Soul King's left hand similar to how the Soul King's right-hand Mimihagi made a pact with Ukitake. Perhaps in this theoretical pact, Yhwach promises to give Pernida a mind of its own and some QUINCY powers in addition to the powers it already has if the hand agrees to revive him in the event of his death. In the flashback, we see Yhwach explain that the Soul King's left arm can only give life and not take it away, and therefore, with this in mind, Yhwach may have made this pact as a way to escape Ichibei's seal, since Ichibei tells him that his eyes will remain closed until his death, which perhaps suggests that death is the only way to break the seal. And therefore, knowing this, Yhwach proceeded to attack the Soul Society, knowing full well that without the Almighty, he would be killed by the then ruthless and very powerful Yamamoto. But he was not worried because perhaps his theoretical pact with the left hand would ensure that he would come back to life. His sly smile as he loses during this first battle with Yamamoto seems to intimate that he knows something that the Shinigami don't. Consequently, Yhwach probably understood that after such a revival he would still have the Almighty, because since he's the Soul King's son, power of the Almighty would still be innate within him. Additionally, Yhwach probably suspected that if he died, the left arm would no longer reside inside him and that it would physically materialize. This physical materialization can perhaps be proven by the fact that we see the Soul King's right hand Mimihagi materialize after it left Ukitake in the manga chapter 618. Therefore, perhaps once the left hand materialized after it revived him, he used his soul distribution power to bestow a QUINCY identity to Pernida. And so, this theory possibly explains why even after having his power sealed away, we see Yhwach return with the power of the Almighty 1,000 years later during his second invasion of Soul Society. As always, there may be further revelations about Pernida's past in the subsequent course of the anime, so this theory may ultimately be proved or disproved. But as it stands, according to the events of episode 24, the theory seems very likely, and I personally think it makes some sense. Anyway, at this point of the video, I would like to turn over the discussion to the audience. What do you think about this theory about Pernida's past? I'd love to hear all your takes, so let's chop it up more in the comment section. As always, if you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.